Alert time. Biddy must be dropping.
My I got both desktop ATAS and exo charts running, and my computer's running like a dream. That's funny. God damn. I haven't been on the desktop version of a exo in a minute. OI's getting crushed though. Fucking massive OI dump.
Really?
Yeah, longs coming off the board. They're all getting stopped out. Shorts are coming way up. So, I mean, you know what that means. It either means you got to get continuation here, or you just had someone short 3.3 million here at the lows. 35,200. How fucking dumb are you people? Excuse my language.
All right, let's see. I'm just going to send I got the TikTok link here. We can get started here. How's everybody doing? I see some people coming in on TikTok. Got some in here on YouTube as well. So I got Magic Internet Money on the mic today. So we're both on YouTube, and I'll kind of pan over here for everybody on TikTok to look at the screen too. Get started here in like 2 seconds. All right, I'm opening up 100x short right here, by the way.
That's what you're supposed to do. You definitely want to short at the bottom here. It'd be great.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh, we got a good amount of people in here. Kim's in here. Everybody. She's at the airport, I think, is what she was saying this morning. She's traveling.
Oh, Kadena thoughts again.
Kadena. What is Kadena even? I don't even know what Kadena is. I assume
it's a like a low cap. I got a chart on it. I can look at it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I've ever looked at it. I just assume it was something that's eventually going to zero.
All right. Links are deployed. Let's go ahead and get started here. So perfect time, right? Right as the old stock market kicks off. I got Bitcoin pulled up here. How's everybody doing? Show the Biddy box when Biddy's going to zero. Wait until 2025. That's the next moment. All right. Magic, you want to start off with Bitcoin, man?
Yeah, let me get rolling here.
For anybody on TikTok, we are live on YouTube as well. I got Magic Internet Money. We're kind of doing a co-stream over there. I'll pan this iPad over so you can see the screen here for when he's going over his Bitcoin chart here, and then I'll pan it back over for the altcoins. But if anybody wants to go look at it there, you're more than welcome. You can pause, rewind. The recorded version will be there afterwards. And yeah, so.
There we go. I was going to say. All right. So, yeah, there was your support. You've got a nice bounce coming in. We talked about this last night in the public live stream, actually. So, that you hadn't fully rotated range yet, right? And you're doing so now down to this 35K level. Really need to see that holding. If it doesn't hold, yeah, you're going to look down to 31.7 and 31.2, basically. Now, one thing to be aware of when you came down last night, and we talked about this on the live stream, so you guys can go back and watch it. It's on YouTube. You can find it on CVOs. Towards the end there, yeah, we said that this is probably going to be a low that gets taken out. And I believe we even talked about how it might be the New York session that does it, get this low taken out. If you get a bunch of people shorting into support and getting trapped traders, that is where, because this is bounce territory, that is where you can see the bounce really get underway. I saw somebody mention 38.5. I'm looking more like 38.2. 38.467.50 would be the 38.5 level. I'm sure that's just someone else's analysis, but it's that's what you're looking for. Is you are looking for a reclaim of an old range, which is like a miniature range here. I think I have it boxed off where it was like 37.300 and 37.200. Let's fix that up a little bit. There we go. This is like the area of the chart you need to see regained, right? You don't get that reclaim no long, but we have taken the lows here at the beginning of the New York session. So that is something to be aware of and to always kind of have in mind, mainly because, we come over and you take a look, you can see open interest is getting wrecked, longs getting wrecked, shorts way up here. And now they're getting stopped out on this bounce. So shorts are getting punished because you can see these people opening up at the low of the candle. And it's never something you want to do. That's like a market maker's wet dream, right into macro support. So this is definitely not the place to be looking to sell. You will become a statistic. Sometimes it does shoot through these areas, but this is the area we've been looking for in terms of support if we were to break it down further. So this is a playable area, I guess is the best way to put it, right down in here. Now you're looking at this and you're just saying, all right, well, I've got the perfect bounces. I just need to now hold about 35,510 locally, and we can start reclaiming some levels and pushing hopefully to the upside, backfill some of these inefficiencies. One thing you will notice is we just finally filled out this daily naked point of control almost to the dollar and the touch here that was left over from February. So really, really nice. I've had this one on my chart for quite some time, and I actually need to update this chart a little bit because there are some other things down here that I want to get off my chart now, like this right here. We can get rid of this box. Come here. There we go. We can get rid of that. And I really don't need this anymore, this 35,311. That can go. But yeah, you'd probably like to see this daily swing failure pattern recovered here. You can see this has been where we came down to, front ran, chopped around. We've been chopping around it. Really big macro area for us. So if we got to like a daily now, you can see that you're getting this bounce. Sometimes these bounces just end up being just low time frame bounces to stop out some people that, shorted the bottom. They're just, they're not the smartest or wisest people in the world, but this daily swing failure pattern right here would be good. Let's take a look at one more time. And I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff just because I just don't need it on here at this point. Let's, well, no, we won't. Let's take a look. Yeah, 35.6. Go back to the low time frames. Yeah, you need to recover this level we just talked about right here, because if you do, you can see what's going on right here. You can see that if we're living above that, who you start putting underwater, right? You start putting all these guys underwater here, and that'll do you wonders for a move to the upside. So. Oh, my dog's got his squeak toy. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. But
I was like, whose fan is squeaking?
No, that's my puppy. He's got a squeak toy. But man, open interest is just getting crushed. All these people that were looking for longs here, it's so typical, man. People, they don't identify the range properly and they long too early. And this happens in leverage markets primarily, right? So this is like a leverage market problem. If you're playing with spot, and your stop loss is that tight, like Baloo, no. That's an issue. But like if you're playing with leverage and you're longing right here, when in reality the long's a little bit lower, you can play these bounces, but you got to be ready to either add into the support or you need to be taking profits quickly and moving to a better play. Taking the next best available trade, which is at the range low, rather than waiting or rather than holding onto the position, watching it go from in profit to a negative position and probably selling out at the low here. Which is exactly what's happening. Like you can see the OI getting dumped. You can see all these longs coming off the board. Not a good sight. And now you see longs picking up. So now what you want to see, if this is going to get any kind of legs, you do want to see fresh longs coming in to push the price a little bit. Ideal world would be recovery of the VWAP, but that's so far away, it's not worth talking about. So this is right now is just a bounce. Not anything I'm really interested in being involved in yet. It is one of those things where a person could trade it. It'd be a pretty aggressive trade, though, in my opinion. Yeah, it'd be fairly aggressive to get in on this. And I don't know, just not for me. So, yeah, that's really all I've got on Bitcoin, man. Not much has changed since last night. We lose this area of the chart. Like it continues to melt down, which I think we're in an area where we are in a position to potentially punish some traders. Otherwise, again, you just mark your levels, set your alerts, and there's no sense in putting your capital in harm's way when it's not really necessary if the trade's not good. So I think you have a potential really good trade right here. for anyone that's watching. If you get the recipe for what you need to see, in the order flow. But that's just me. Let's see. Any questions from the peanut gallery?
Sounds like
Dude, I know I'm gonna take it from him. Baloo. Gimme. He can suffer. He tore a pillow up and pissed on my couch yesterday. So, and I know that everybody probably wants to know that at home, but yeah, he's in his puppy stage. He's 3 months old, so it's like the terrible twos at my house.
I'm gonna go over some altcoins this morning, but I put on the list there was XRP and Quant, and I figured that you could go over your Quant charts, and we went over them last night anyways, but just because yours are that XRP one's money.
Yeah, I'll cover Ape as well real quick.
Oh, yeah,
so
Ape too, yeah.
Apecoin is one that we talked about on the first, and this is one that I've seen some influencers say you can't trade this chart and it's pure manipulation. That is absolute hogwash. We've been talking about buying here since the first when it prices all the way up here. We said this would be the bounce zone. This would be the rejection zone. And that if it wicked above $23.722, we were looking for $25. This hit $25.10. And then once you found acceptance, we were looking for 14. Back test of the POC, it did come up just a little bit above it, but you can see you have 0 closures above that important level. And then now we're looking for the loss of 14, and we're looking for $10 to $12. And depending on how nasty the crypto market gets, well, you could be looking much lower, So if Bitcoin decides to take this leg down and makes its way down into this region, is there support below us? I've seen some people say, well, no, we're going to 34K. That's the bounce area. I mean, you must be looking right here around like 33,610 would be the area of interest. But to me, if you start losing this on a convincing basis, this little box, the next real area for me is coming in at the lows here. And I'm very interested in this box, barring a meltdown. I'm very interested in playing this area as a tradable area. I'm still hanging out in some of my shorts from the last move, and I feel like I should have just gotten a take profit. I want to check that because I don't know that I. Oh no, my take profit was 35,169. It hit 35,204. So I'll just have to keep being patient on that one. That happened to me last time, but I might not get it. I think I was trying to front run the 3M here, thinking we would definitely get it, and I probably should have not done that. But am I still sharing my screen? I can't remember if I turned that off. Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah, you're going to get this bounce now underway. Sorry, I'm going to scroll back to Biddy a little bit. You're going to get some punishment here. See? Yeah. Just a little bit of punishment. Very nice.
How many came in and shorted at the low there?
Quite a few, man. I don't actually know. Well, let's take a look. The candle itself. So this is a 15-minute candle. But you are looking at quite a few orders coming in here. You can see they're in the millions. Yeah, negative 43 million delta. Not what you really want to see. Not what you want to be doing at the low here. 195 mil there. Negative 43 million delta. Yeah, there's a lot of shorts that opened up here towards the lows. But you can see right here, 9.7 million, 11 million. Don't really see there. There we go. We're starting to see some buying imbalances coming in. That's what you want to see. You want to see those start stacking and putting some of these guys underwater to get a real bounce here. And then you have a really good trade. Okay, so this is where a trade can become, I don't know the correct word term, maybe effective, because now that if these people start getting underwater and you're getting buying imbalances, fresh longs coming in, the market makers have identified some traders they want to punish. Does that mean a full-blown reversal? No, it just means that in the short term, for whatever session you're in, you might be getting an uptrend, right? So if you're day trading it, you just got to know where your take profits are. Generally, for me, I'm going to be looking for, sessions is what I'll be targeting first. I'll look very locally into VWAPs, things like that. So like you can see, you've already tagged your session point of control for New York. So that would have been your first take profit. If, again, like I said, this would be a very aggressive entry down here because you see that what's happening. You would have already taken profit on that trade. Take profit 1 anyway, because you're not guaranteed take profit 2. After that, you're looking for the VWAP, anything beyond that. And then you're just, you're playing it level to level. and making sure that you're getting your money, extracting it from the market, getting out of the market, and then wash, rinse, repeat. Because again, this is a day trading type of breakdown. If you're looking for a swing trade, well, your stop loss has to go below the low, and you have to understand that that's why there's stop losses, because you might get stopped out of that trade. This isn't a place I'm looking for a swing trade just yet. It was kind of like over here, when we broke down over the weekend. I'm going to make a public video on this. We'll cover it, and we'll talk about this. Where we were looking right here on this weekend breakdown. I said, it really front ran the area of interest here at 37.3. If we get the sweep of the lows, I'm only interested on the weekend because it's the weekend and we made this low. Coming back and doing something like this, that's the only time I'm looking to long. Otherwise, I would look down to the area that we know we're eventually going to, unless certain levels are reclaimed, which 40.3K was kind of that big level that we need to see. But you didn't really get the sweep of the lows. You got it here. And then the market was pretty happy with the news that was coming in. You got a really nice back test. I did take this trade, if you recall. I closed out right here, though, because I wanted to go to sleep. I'm not big on leaving leveraged positions overnight if they're not meant to be swing trades. I'm just only going to day trade them. And then I just took the short from up here and took it all the way down. I'm still riding that short. So that's how you wanted to trade that. But knowing that this came in on the weekend, knowing that you left this area of support, it was a front run, and that as this move was happening, you could watch the open interest and the order flow to know that this was going to be something that was likely to be a fake out. It didn't quite hit all the targets I wanted. I wanted a little bit higher. I thought going a little bit higher and maybe taking some of these local highs would have been a better trade. But we did not get that. And that's okay. You don't have to know the exact top from right here. You don't have to say, well, it didn't go to my target, so I can't take this trade. You just say, okay, well, we've hit the area of interest. Now I need to see if there's a setup for me to take the trade, or am I shorting too early? We clearly had a setup right here at 39.5. You lose 39.5 and you're down. My overall average entry on, getting in short was like 39.692 or 35.692 or something, or 39.692. Yeah, I think somewhere in that region, because I had shorted the local golden pocket, and then on the back test of the VWAP and a few other things here, I was compounding my shorts, sizing in, adding to that position to average into it. So it was a really easy trade to have, and then you're just targeting lower. So if you were in this, type of a day trade scenario, you probably have already taken profits on this trade. And then the rest of it's just house money. If you're leaving it open, just taking it up to further targets. If you're looking for a swing trade, well, stop loss below the low here. And, you can pray to crypto Jesus that this is going to be the spot where you get a nice swing, and you could. So you can't short right here. You can only look for longs, and then you have to decide what type of a trade you're going to make that. Are you going to make that a day trade? Or are you going to make it a swing trade? Are you going to make it a day trade, then leave some to run as a swing trade? Like, you can do that. That's viable. It's just you got to understand your position size is going to be small, which is fine. Not everyone should be exposed to the market heavily, especially if you're just getting into trading. Maybe not even have exposure, just using like a paper trading account, especially if leverage is involved. But so Apecoin, this is the region I'm interested in. Still interested in $10 to $12 on that one. You had mentioned XRP. Definitely don't mind looking at XRP. You know how much I like XRP's chart. I haven't been day trading XRP at all. I did some of it. I entered on this candle right here, and I took some profits there, and then I re-entered on a bounce and took some profits because we were looking for the reclaim of about 88 cents. But you are at support. I'm expecting resolution of this overall structure here in the next 2 weeks. So whatever that means to everybody, 88 cents is the target that you need to get back above. You get above 88 cents. Realistically, you get above the yearly open. You could be looking for some very nice moves to the upside, actually. But if that doesn't happen and Bitcoin continues down and XRP closes below 57.7 cents, this thing is going to drop it like it's hot. And I'm just not interested in it. I have no interest in trying to knife catch XRP. I've done it before. I was involved in this dump here. I was involved in the run up as well, but I was involved in this dump, and I remember sizing in after the dump a little bit, because it gave you multiple opportunities. You spent enough time here that you didn't have to be that guy. It's like trying to time the exact bottom. But if someone was trying to DCA, so to speak, you're at support right now. I've mentioned several times. If you're going to buy XRP and you're like hell-bent on, hey, there's no way we're dumping. I believe in the financial reset. My tinfoil hat has been on for a long time. You can absolutely buy here because you're at support. You just have to understand that if you're wrong, that you could see a 50% drawdown, maybe a little more even from where you're at. And if you're okay with that because you're investing for the long term and you'd be excited to buy lower, even more power to you. But if you're looking to buy lower, I think you got to start those bids in the 40-cent range and run them all the way down to like 29 cents, maybe even a little bit lower, and take that for what it's worth. So that's how I would trade XRP. I'll probably take a look at it on the low time frames here, and maybe I'll make a public video about that one as well. And this is your swing failure pattern that was identified. This is the only levels that matter right now locally. 57.7 cents. Okay, you need to hold that as support, and you need to get back above 88.8 cents for confirmation here of any kind of a move to the upside. If you do that, I think that you actually have a really good chance of running it all the way back up to like the 150 to 160 region, which at that point, this begins to look like a. So he has a toy box in the room, and he has 2 squeak toys, and he went and got the other one. So I can't say that he's a dumb dog. He knows what he wants, right? Yeah, but XRP, very simple chart. I am not holding any XRP at this point. Again, like I said, I've traded it a little bit this week here. I did trade some of these moves right here where they're intraday. So where we're bouncing back up, I think right here I was saying 77 cents, and this went a little higher than my target. So again, this bounce right here when we talked about it, I had said 70, I want to say it was 78.2 cents and 75.7 cents were the areas to get back above. It did claim that area a little bit. But it only did so on one candle, gave it right back up, and then down you go. So anytime that you do that, you go above a level like this, like you reclaim the level, things look good, but then it's just a deviation. Generally, you're getting some selling up here, and you're just trapping, FOMO buyers, and they're about to become not exit liquidity. They're becoming fuel for the move down or the move up. So, the same could be said for like when Bitcoin dropped below like 30K in the summer of 21, where it was down there underneath 30K for like a day before the big move started, and everybody was getting very bearish at the lows. Well, the bears had the ball and they failed to capitalize, meaning that what happens when all those people that are looking for lower don't get lower and they're becoming fuel, you get a really rapid rise. So that is really all there is to say about that. I did want to check something here. Well, I'll do that in a second. I've got an old template on XO I wanted to look at because I don't know that I have it uploaded to this one. Yeah, I don't have it uploaded on the desktop. I'll check it here in a little bit. I had to renew my XO this morning because I haven't actually had it renewed for a while. I've been using ATAS right here, but I can check it on ATAS since I don't have my desktop version up yet. I don't see any. I wanted to look for some single prints, but I might not have any here. Or at least it's not going to show them to me. Yeah, it's not going to show them to me. That's fine. Get rid of Delta. Just don't need it. So you're at the previous day value area low as well. Nice. 37K. Would be a nice target. The only reason I bring this up is I have been playing this move a little bit here and there, so I do like to know exactly where everything's going. What was the other altcoin you wanted me to look at besides XRP?
Quant.
QNT. Yeah, QNT's got a nice chart. Not a nice chart, but easy chart to trade. It's probably a little more difficult than XRP's chart, just because Quant, again, I don't even know what Quant actually does. Don't care. But Quant is giving up some important ground here. You've given up the range low. This level here at 94.56 cents was kind of a big area. I think I talked about it in the last public update for it as well. But you can see that, actually, we need to move this up. I don't know how it keeps getting moved on me, but it does. 97.10 cents. So you can see we have a nice back test where you've got a rejection here after coming through the level. Never something you want to see is coming through the level like that and then coming in and not even be able to hold it as support. Yeah, you have immediate support. I think you covered this last night too, where you're talking about 83 cents. So you got a nice bi-weekly at 83 cents. You can see we front ran it just a little bit, or dollars, but
freak people out, man.
Yeah.
83 cents is the next support on quant.
I just got done talking about XRP. So let's just all go to XRP numbers, right? It's the only coin that matters in this space is XRP anyway. But quant, yeah, you've got support right here. It's a box that I was looking for on the dump, and you can see we front ran it by about $1, so about $1 exactly, $1.20 or so. I would like to fill this box out. We've got volume targets in here. If this box is lost, though, I think you have a real shot. That's $69 at the low, by the way. So between 82 and 69, that's the box. It's $82.34. That is the box with an emphasis at $73.70. You lose that little pocket, that little $13 window, and you have a real shot at dumping all the way to $40. So if someone's looking to buy quant, I've been saying if it's under $100, you can start dabbling a little bit, but you have to understand that you haven't come down and fulfilled these targets yet. And if the rest of the market's going to take a leg down over time, because you're in bounce territory for Bitcoin right now, like you're getting that. There you go. There's your VWAP touch. That's why you have to take profits at the VWAP right there. You got a nice rejection off of it. So that would have been take profit 2 for anyone that took that trade, and then you're out, right? So not out, but you've again paid yourself yet again. So making sure that you're taking care of yourself. If Bitcoin continues down, there's no reason you shouldn't see this box get filled out. And realistically, if this were to bounce, then you're just playing the reclaim of the range. Hang on. I gotta take this one too, man. I'm sorry.
Take a squeaker, man.
He looks so upset at me now because I took both his squeak toys. But yeah, I mean, you just play the reclaim of the range. It's a very simple, at that point, man, trading view. It's very simple. If you were to make your way into this box, all you want to do is if you're being extra conservative and you don't want to buy here, you can just buy the confirmation. If you get that. If you don't get something like that, you don't get strength, you just come down here, chop around, do something like this, which is what happened right here. So again, this was support. And I talked about it. You got to be taking profits in these areas, right? You got to take profits in this area. Even if you think it's going to push from this region and you're like, I think this is accumulation, even though it's too early to identify, you have to pay yourself, in my opinion. You have to hedge against that. You can keep some of it. If you were buying in this region, you can totally hang on to some of that, but you have to understand that there is a chance this happens, right? So, because there are no guarantees in trading. Well, you're not actually trading at this point. You're DCAing into a long-term position and you're not taking profits where you should be. But that's if you're just trading to get a better average, well, then you can average in as low as you want to go because it can go super, super low over time. And we're done with that coffee. It's cold now. But with QNT, I would be patient. If you're wanting to start averaging in because it's under $100 and you think that's good territory, by all means, I think you're probably being somewhat aggressive on it, and that's fine. Just understand that I would divvy up my money into, I call them units. So if you're going to invest in a coin, I've said it, I will divvy up money anywhere from as low as 10 units, depending on the project, to as many as 22 units, and I'll size into my positions based on interest. And as the market turns around and things look better, I'll start using some of that leftover capital, or I'll just put it back into my trading funds and I'll allocate it to something else. I'm not going to overexpose myself or FOMO into positions. It's just not something I'm willing to do. And over time, one, you'll sleep better, and two, I think you'll preserve more capital doing that, just being a little more cautious with it, right? Do I think that this ultimately is an opportunity? Of course it is. It's just the matter of when is that opportunity going to be something that you actually get to reap the benefits from, As far as quant and getting to the upside, if you start recovering this $97 level and Bitcoin's recovering like it is right now, we just talked about it, take the lows. So if you guys are wanting, you guys can go back and audit the last stream towards the end of it. I do talk about taking the lows right here during the New York session. So we're doing that now, getting a bounce, getting those late shorters. that is what you want to see. If you start reclaiming this range, well, we really need to see 115. That's in your public video. We need to see this area of the chart taken out. And then from there, we're just eyeballing the high of the side of the range. And we've got the key levels that have been on our charts. If you're in the group, you know where we get those. You can just mark out your chart. And we're really looking to see if you can hold about 136 over time, because that would put enough pressure onto this resistance if we can get into here and actually make a move. At that point, if you flip this level and you start doing things like this, and you're actually doing something constructive, like you flag out, right? So you're getting like a flag, and make that move. I mean, to me, there's almost no reason why you wouldn't push to 210. You just have to understand this is a pretty big resistance. To be aware of, I think there is some resistance between like 180 and 187. If I recall, there's something there that we should know about. Yeah, 127. I bet it's right here. There it is, 180 bucks. Yeah, so you do have to be aware of $180. So if you're taking that kind of a trade, you do have to be fully aware that that is there, and that you may have to consider to take profits. I think that, is this the right pull? Yeah, your 382 comes in there. So even though it's not that far above this little box here between 152 and 164, just understand that 180 to 185 is going to be an area that is in between these levels that, you may consider putting an extra take profit in, just to make sure you're securing something and capitalizing if you got that high. That's really getting ahead of ourselves, considering the amount of work this thing has left to do still. But never wait till the last second to make a plan. Always have that plan. Quant's one that I have traded. I haven't been actively trading it as much. I've been setting alerts and just kind of waiting. You guys know that I was active down here, active again in this region, looking for basically up here to take profits, kind of like Polkadot. I hung on to more of the Polkadot than I did on that. Same with like Matic. Traded some Matic. I didn't hang on to much of it, but DOT was an interesting one. I do want to check on CRO. There's somebody on my Twitter that got really, really butthurt. So if you're in here, I apologize. But they got really butthurt because I posted exactly the targets for this. Not only did I post the targets, I literally listed them. I gave the values of this box on the fourth slide. There's 4 pictures on it. I said the targets for that, if we do not hold this level of support here, which are just 2 horizontal levels in a local golden pocket off of this harmonic, you can see this is a really nice support level. Again, this is another example right here of where I said 50.95 cents was the level to reclaim. We did get above it, but what happens once you turn it into resistance? That's actually pretty bearish. It's a deviation, not a very big one, but you did get one. Sold down immediately, swing failure pattern of the highs, straight shot down into support, buy it again, high or low. Where are you looking for? The highs of the range. What happens at the highs of the range? Just like everything else, sold into, back to the lows, break the lows. Now we're looking for macro support on this one between 20 and 25 cents. I do have targets as low as, I think, 17 and some change. But I'm being patient on Crow. I'm not holding any of that Crow. Or I think for me, I'm not a huge. I was big on Crow because of the hype on it and the chart looked good. But once we did this, I just wanted to trade it because the trade setups are there. I don't know that even if we get to this box, I'm going to be accumulating just yet. I really want to see where the whole market is at if we get to my desired price point. If we don't reach this box and it front runs me by even 26 cents, honestly, Crow is not something that I'm going to be looking to pick up. I don't care enough about the project or give a shit about their platform. I only care to trade it. And if I don't get what I want, I'm not going to trade this coin. I'll just trade something else that's going to give me exactly what I want, because that's how I prefer to trade. So what I do is I generally just get alerts. They get sent to my phone. And if we're hitting targets that I want, I'll look at the rest of the market. I'll look at the coin in question. And if I like it, I'll start sizing in. So CRO to me still has like a ton of downside potentially. And, it is what it is on that one. This is one I've been covering since 2021 in this region. And I was saying this is a great looking chart. I even gave you guys the squiggly line for this, where it puts in the macro high or low, right? And then off you go. So for me, I'm just not that interested in Crow until it comes down much lower. I think we were talking about Polkadot, actually Algo. These are a lot of ones that I've looked at. Sorry, I'm going through my whole stash here. But
I love it, man. I'm taking the morning off.
Yeah. Algo did come into some targets. It front ran this 50-cent level just a little bit. This is a level that we had identified, and we said it's going to depend on losing 88.33 cents. And once that was lost, you can see here you got a reclaim of it. And again, what did we just talk about? When you reclaim major supports, get back into old ranges that we need to see. Well, it's a deviation. This is a pretty good size deviation. It spent some time up here, really put in a top, and then basically what you're doing is you're building up that momentum for the next move down, and you got a really good move down. So this is front ran my target by about 3 cents, which is a pretty large front run for me on a coin that's trading for 53 cents. So that's 6% front run. So I've got my alerts set. I have not sized into algo, but I do want to buy some if I get down in this region. Why do you want to buy down here? Like, look at where you're at, man. This is the accumulation range for algo. I was making videos on algo when it was like 30 cents. I think it was like 27 actually. And I was like, dude, you guys should be buying algo. And we were targeting above 50 cents. Like we played this move here. And then again, down to this region. This is where I was making the videos actually, right here. This is where my public videos were before that last YouTube channel ended up getting taken down. But the move up was nice. Now it's a question of, can I get in at a reasonable price? Because if you're buying here, and then you're buying here, and then you're buying here, your average is going to suck. So for me, like, that's why people ask me, like, why am I a Bitcoin maxi? No, I just know that altcoins can really take a dump. I've been in it since 2017. So I've seen when altcoins came about and seen what, one, they can pump really hard, but two, you can see how they just absolutely, even the good ones, this is a quote unquote a good project. For whatever that means, nothing personal to algo. I actually don't know anything about it. It's just got, a lot of people say the fundamentals are very strong. But the fundamentals don't matter in a low market cap like this. Like if you're going to buy in, at least buy in strategically, because if you get into, depending on when you got in the market, if you got in the market when Bitcoin and everything else was going up, you might've got in this region and think, oh, I've got a great position, take zero profits. And now you're underwater, and you're having to average in, and your average is still going to be up in this region. So then you're really underwater for a good amount of time. Sometimes, better part of a year, before something could return to the upside. Or a worst case scenario, you get something like this where you re-enter this range, and you spend some real time down here, reaccumulating, which would be, I would prefer it personally. I love shit like that, but I don't think that's what will happen. I think if it comes anywhere in this box, the bounce is going to be pretty heavy. And then you're just playing the reclaim, so you're just taking profits along the way, or you can just long-term hold it if that's your bag. I don't think I have anything else. I'm gonna leave you. Well, let's look at Gala. Gala is one that's been covered on my TikTok and YouTube, guys. You guys were given 12.5 cents as the next target if the range broke down. We were looking for 19 cents here, right? And this is back right in this region on April 8th, I think, is when we made that video. And we said 12.5 cents would be the target if 15.93 did not provide the bounce we needed, which it did not. You can see this is not a good bounce. All you've done is come back tested resistance, but you're holding this level. This is a pretty big level to hold. You can see it starts right here where your initial accumulation range is. So we're holding on to this level. If you lose it, well, the drawdown is, I guess, not that bad, but it's still, this is going to, be another 30% down to 9.2313. So if you're into Gala, which I'm not, I only covered this coin because it was a request from someone on Twitter, Stonky Coin. So if you're watching, Stonky, thanks. Hey, you know what? It was one of those things where, like, we'd looked at Gala before. I knew I had a chart for it because I had charted this move for people. And then we had the B leg, I believe, right here, where you're coming up back testing technically, since this is a deep crab, you're not just looking for the B leg, you're looking for the start of it, because this is a distribution pattern. So you're looking for X on a deep crab, not just B leg. So you're looking for X to be this little zone. And you can see that's exactly what happened. You got the sell off from there. So very easy chart to trade if you just zoom out and like actually know what you're looking at. But if someone was looking to DCA, 12.5 cents really is the area of interest, because this is just not support at all. This is a big sign of weakness, losing this level. And then you're just looking, where are areas of value? That's if you believe in this. I think this is a gaming token. I don't know anything about that stuff. You guys know that I'm pretty much technology. I'm a boomer when it comes to this stuff. I only care about the charts. I do zero fundamental analysis, but my charts always look really nice. So So to all the haters out there that say you have to trade the news or trade fundamentals, I would challenge that very heavily. I would say that you are probably going to end up on the wrong side of this coin. So, if you were looking to buy, this is the area to be DCAing into, in my opinion. Looking for reversals in that region, or at least solid bounces. Like even this one right here, if you just took it, if you just set a blind order here, which I would never do. I would never advise you do that, right? I would never do that. But if a person did it and they were like, everything's coming into support, I'm just going to trade from here back to resistance. It's 27%. No leverage, easy trade. You were in this trade from the 30th of April to the 4th of May. So if you can withstand 4 days of chop right here before the move into this resistance, get out of it, you made 27.93% not doing anything except putting a level on your chart and understanding the importance of it, but also understanding to take profits, and then wash, rinse, repeat as a trader. If you're an investor, you might not be into that. But for me, that would be how I would do it. I did not trade this coin. I only covered it because it was a request. Just full disclosure, I don't trade that coin. This is DOT was where I was getting to before we moved on here. I've been talking about Polkadot down to $12 for a minute, trading the Q3 here. Okay, so very nice, like easy way to look at the chart. We're still in a downtrend. $16 is the area I was looking for initially, down to I think it was like 14. The initial box was a little smaller than this, but I did say we buy down to 12. Now $12 is relevant again. But where did we do? This was the support I gave you guys in December when I joined the group. We were still on Telegram. We were trading up here, and boom, right into resistance. You got to take profits. You get another swipe of the lows. You get a little bit bigger position. Again, right into resistance. You took the high right here on a nice swing failure pattern at macro resistance. Man, as soon as you start giving up some of these key levels like $22.32 or even $21.31, you got to be looking all the way back down to the range lows. And what have you done? You've come down, taken the low. You're at the EQ of your trend. You're still waiting for this trend to break out. And once the trend does, what are you looking to do? Well, you're looking to trade it back up to where resistance. And you could probably move your targets up a little bit at that point. So I have not adjusted my DOT chart in a long time. I've just done on altcoins. I don't day trade them like I do with Bitcoin. I identify the key levels, the range that we need to be in, and I just monitor it and I accumulate where I think is a good spot if I'm interested in the project. I rarely day trade them. I'll swing trade them. Like this is a swing trade, obviously. You got to think this is from January 22nd all the way to February 8th. So this is a 3-week trade if you're in it. And it is a 3-week trade, but even if you got in right here on this first wick, not the second one, so you didn't get the best entry, and you don't even run it all the way to the high. Let's say you just run it to here. It's 37% to do nothing. If you're putting in a good amount of money, if you've got $5, $10, $20,000, I mean, 30 days to get 37% on that is not bad. That's thousands of dollars to add to your portfolio. Wash, rinse, repeat. It can do your account wonders just to like take easy trades. Not everything has to be like what I was doing right here with Bitcoin, where I'm like, hey, you've got take profit 1, take profit 2. Now we're looking up to take profit 3 potentially. That's a whole different ball game. Bitcoin is not an easy task to trade because it does move pretty violently, and a lot of people aren't really prepared for that. Not that alts aren't violent. It's just I think they're a little easier because once you identify the key area on Bitcoin, you can identify all the key areas on altcoins, and they begin to make more sense, and altcoins are very easy just to size into and get big moves out of, whereas like if I'm buying Bitcoin in the same instance, Bitcoin might only move like 3 to 5%. But, if I come over here to Polkadot, that 3 to 5% on Bitcoin, or maybe it's even 10%, I'm getting a 40% range out of an altcoin, it's just, that's where you can really make a good amount of money just swing trading those. So it's something I don't do enough of because I get sucked into the Bitcoin chart so much. But like I know that you cover altcoins so extensively. It's like I saw you guys just absolutely crushing a lot of them, like seeing things like that, Solana, all those coins. Really nice. So I'll stop talking because I know I'm eating up a lot of this time with whatever. But yeah, let's get back.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Yeah, those are good, man. And that's the thing too, is like all your like all those macro lows, we're definitely inching towards them all at this point. If I'm gonna switch this over so everybody can see I hope it's a little bit better. Is the 17K_9 person still in here? You were asking about KDA. a lot last night and this morning. So hope you are still here because I do have that chart pulled up for you. And take a look at a couple here, and won't take up too much more of everybody's time. But KDA, obviously down with the rest of the market here, has punched down, I think, about 87% overall. Did fall out of the range here, and right now holding on to a daily level. Very similar to, I think, what Magic was just looking at, kind of like Algo and Crow and things of that nature, right? You had these, massive accumulation areas, and then you had these major moves up, and then once you start losing these supports, these just straight ups, there's really nothing there, right? So this daily was the next level. This is exactly where we came down to so far for KDA. So you'd really want to see that hold. Assuming, and this is once again like kind of putting everything in the whole market in the confluence and context. If Bitcoin starts dropping, obviously you do have to anticipate the rest of the alts are going to come down. This 3-month level would be something I'd keep an eye on. And we also have a weekly. This would be a really big drop from where we are now, right? That'd be another 50% move. Obviously, that's not what anybody wants to hear if you're holding that coin. But those would be the two major levels I'd be looking for. Would be that 3-month. That's like really implying like the whole market takes a hit, right? So the weekly will probably come in to hold pretty well also. But worst case, I do think that we'd see that down to this 160. But otherwise, you are at support right now, right? So you can't necessarily just anticipate just going to bleed right down. You could put a stop loss just below this daily level, right? That's the idea, or an alert there, right? So if it does start dropping there. A lot of these smaller caps are not easy to just kind of stop loss out. I think this is maybe this is on KuCoin, at least this chart is. Stop losses on KuCoin can be a little difficult because of liquidity. So sometimes it skips over your order there. So you might have to manually take a few shots at it depending on how big your position is. But yeah, super simple on that. And then as far as upside, right, you'd want to see this range reclaimed right here. So about 530, that's obviously a really big window to the upside. So not an area where you want to sell right now and wait for that if you're holding right now, because you're talking about 52% move up that you may miss out on. But once again, you want to protect yourself from that possible downside. So that stop loss would be right below, or just like I said, put an alert here. So pay attention to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts heading lower to some of those lower targets, then I would imagine we're going to continue down for KDA. And even though that is a 50% move, and you're already down 87%, the overall move would not be much more, right? So that's the thing, is that even though, you're not talking about what the hell. All right. If you come down to that 3-month target, right now you're at 87%. The 3-month puts you at 94. So it's technically 7% more to the downside, but downside action is not the same as upside percentage. So hope that answers your question for KDA. No OC Pet Doctor. I'll just do a VXV real quick. And I do have VXV posted in, in the updates center there. So these should, I guess, excuse me. I guess the only thing is, you said on YouTube, can you look at VXV? No clue support levels. So the thing with VXV is that it is pretty much at, all-time low area, since this is just such a new coin. We do have the one daily level that we basically created back here on March 14th. We're hovering around essentially, the Q1 range low right here. So you'd really want to see the range reclaimed at about 155. But otherwise, this would just, this is kind of a free fall situation, because this would be able to just kind of come down and make new all-time lows, right? So there is no support below here because it has never been here. So something to kind of keep in mind there. But as far as for, once again, same deal, stop loss below this daily level or an alert. Just kind of keep track of what's going on with the market, because this could easily be another 20-30% drawdown. We're at $1.41 right now. If this drops to $1 or less, that's a pretty big a drop. And at this point, I don't think you could say it wouldn't happen. But you are at support, so keep your alerts in play. For upside, you want to see this range reclaim at 157. You got your point of control back up here at 225. You see how we've basically rotated this range a couple times here in the last few weeks. And then that range high does come in at 280. And if we start, whole market reverses, then we'd be looking back up towards some of these levels here. Right. OC Pet Doctor. He cracked me up with the H bar in a good way. You're holding up the H bar market, that's for sure. Propping it up. So this, not that this would be making new all-time lows, but this is a really good example of where you're at on, or you possibly could be at on VXV or on that KDA chart or whatever, right? So like when you're kind of dipping below these ranges, and then once again you're looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin really hasn't put in any huge effort to say that it's not going down to 31, 32. You might get a short-term bounce, right? Which is one thing to pay attention to, because even with the altcoins, just like Magic said, if you get a 10% or a 5% bounce out of Bitcoin today and over the weekend, all these altcoins are going to probably push 20, 30% for at least the short term. But what you could do when you get to these situations, and kind of just the example of VXV and KDA right now, is put those alerts on and TradingView is free. You could go to TradingView on your phone, hover over this price and click this and add an alert. It's going to text you when the price action gets there, and then you can decide what you want to do, pay attention to Bitcoin, whatever the case is. And then whether that means dump your entire portfolio, which is obviously a hard thing to do at times. Again, we're talking just spot holders, right? Because you could de-risk a little bit, take some off the table and protect yourself from these possible drawdowns. Because this one right here was pretty big, right? We lost the range, we back tested it, another 30% down, and from this point we are holding this yearly key level. But if Bitcoin draws it down one more time, very possible to see a situation like this where we're holding major yearly support, not this. And even if you get that run back, this run up back to, this is a quarterly low from last year. So this is where we're looking to kind of see a little reaction from. We held it for this is on the daily. So we actually held this level for 3 days. And then we sunk through it, and we've held this level now for about a week, I'd say. But if you even run it back, and if you don't get above this level, and then Bitcoin drops it down, then this 9-cent level right here would be the biggest area that I'd be paying attention for H bar. And that is, once again, that's another 20, 30% drop, which would not be fun. So whatever your strategy is at this point, consider these levels here. So if you're looking to just pick up some more H bar, for the long haul, look for that 9-10 cent region. If you're wanting to possibly de-risk a little bit, depending on how things go, set your alerts for maybe the 16.5 area, just to see how the price action reacts up here, see how Bitcoin's reacting at the time. The last thing you want to do is end up panic selling at one of these two levels here, because more than likely one around this region is probably going to be the bottom, give or take, right? Or it could be. Probably is a big word, but I wouldn't imagine that we're going to see just complete meltdown here. We'll probably at least get a decent reaction out of this point, even if it's back up to retest this range low. Ultimately, for major continuation to the upside, you would want to get back into this range, which is up about 20 cents. So very similar to the other coin we were looking at a second ago. I think it was KDA or whatever. Obviously, selling here, you mark your chart or mark that TradingView or keep your eye on it, whatever. And you could, get out a little bit here if you needed to, if you wanted to, or just mentally prepare to know, what, if this loses, we're going down to this major volume target, right? So there's a Y to this 9 cents, right? And if it correlates with Bitcoin dropping, and this is all based on, hinges on Bitcoin's price action, it definitely helps your psyche to, wake up, and if you wake up and see a 9-cent H bar, to just be like, what happened, right? Because that is the case. And you can see here, even, right, this is a yearly key level. This is where we came down to major support. Whatever the news is, who cares or who knows? This was a major low as well. And then throughout this, what do you have? You have Bitcoin, pulling down the market. So that's what I'd be looking for H bar. And like I said, getting even back to that range low would be a 50% rise, right? So that's what you want to see. You got your point of control up here, about 21 cents. Ultimately, this is about a 30% range, run it to the range high, which we did several times as well. Yeah. Somebody's asked about Chainlink, so I'll run through a couple of these over the next couple minutes here. Chainlink is essentially kind of dropping out of this range too, right? Or it has dropped out. This is the daily time frame, so this is not what you want to see. Daily candle bodies closing, under these high time frame ranges. We do have a monthly level right below, which is one of the major targets that we've been looking for. Magic, on the other hand, has has his target. Not that it has to get there, but the next major area is like around $5. So once again, it's something to be kind of paying attention for. And the other thing that I'll point out is that, when you get to some of these low levels, the only reason I'll say that, you're at risk of coming lower than that is because we're already here. And just kind of the idea that if Bitcoin does drop, so once again, you got to put all this into context with itself. If Bitcoin does come down, mind you, a short-term bounce is probably likely over the next few days, but then walking into next week or whatever, if we do come down to something, another 10% drop out of Bitcoin, definitely want to hang on to 930, says Magic. 10% out of Bitcoin is generally twice as much for the alts. So 10, 20%, whatever the case may be. So, you might want to, we may end up seeing these lower levels here. So just something to kind of keep in mind. But once we run this back, Link has a humongous range. So it's one of those things where, same thing. This is a buyer's market, in my opinion, right? It's not necessarily where you want to be selling if you've been holding all the way through this point. I know that that's a hard thing to understand because we could drop 20 and 30 and 40% across the board again. So that's totally up to you, but you run a really high risk the lower we go of that reversal coming in, right? And especially when everybody's getting, to the point where everybody's kind of trying to do the same thing because everyone's going to dump their bags at the lows or, whatever. But when we re-enter this range and when the market recovers and when Bitcoin runs it back even just a little bit, this is a massive, like 100% move that's at play. Chainlink as one of the larger cap coins as a really huge range opportunity here. So, and I do think that we'd see it pretty quickly. So that's just something to keep in mind. And that would be, kind of one of those perfect crime scenarios too, right? When you re-enter this range, it's 10, 11, $12, whatever. And this will probably go for the whole market when things start turning around. If you don't have your plan in place and understanding where we are, that those quick moves are what's going to leave everybody in the dust and, shaking their head. And then everybody's going to be panicking in the middle, trying to make their, figure out what they want to do. It's not what you want to be doing, right? You want to be making that plan now while things are scary, kind of slow. We're getting drawdowns more than anything right now, but it's, just giving you all these levels to pay attention to, ideas here. Once again, like I said, the majority of people are going to be holding spot trading or holding in spot. Scary time, but we are coming close to this the end of the drop, so to speak. Mana is another. I listed a bunch on YouTube that I probably didn't cover. What did we do? ETH, Ape, Doge. Okay, we did Link. Mana is actually one I listed, so that's good. Mana, this chart right here was actually Magic and I actually made this together on February. I don't know, back in February. So we were probably up here. Yep. And, at a pretty decent $3.50. From there, right, we were looking for essentially this range to hold. We re-entered the range, rotated the range in full, just lost it. And then this major buy zone, which at the time seemed a little crazy because it was a 63 to 70% drawdown that we would, maybe not make that. And just as all of his other major, macro lows that he's got listed out, lo and behold, we're maybe a few percent from that. If Bitcoin gets that last drawdown, we'll definitely be entering this zone. And this is a big, I used to say it a lot. And I know people sometimes don't necessarily, you don't necessarily want to go all in and all that. Some people say that, but this would be a back up the truck moment, in my opinion, for something like Mana. I think Decentraland and Sand, right, have major opportunities in the future, regardless of whatever. Maybe that's just speculation, but if you were looking to get into this project at any time, this is going to be the ideal situation. This is literally where we, basically ranged it out, accumulated right before this massive run up. And, basically we're there. This box, basically this October NPOC would be money if we come down to it. So that's a major volume target there, about 79 cents. The box here, however, goes from about 87 to $1.27. So we're like 20 cents away. Granted, that's a big percentage, right? That's a big 43% box. But DCA wise, this is what I'd have my eyes on for something like Mana. And let's take a look at Doge and see where that one is chilling. Doge has been ranging really well. I mean, everything has at this point. ETH is, let's take a look at ETH real quick, because we're like $50 now away from that point of control, which we've been waiting on, which is pretty sweet. So we entered this range on the 12th of April. And we did it bearishly, right? So you kept the daily chart once again. So you start seeing dailies closing back within this range. You see how we basically could wicked above, slightly closed here, right back in, wicked above. Essentially, we rejected. This is actually at the yearly key level, but it shoved us back in the range. And at that point, your natural target does become this point of control. Obviously, it's taken some time. It hasn't just been a straight line, but we're more than likely going to hit that at this point. So this would be a major area to kind of be paying attention to. Obviously, Bitcoin, is going to drive the market a little bit here. Like if we come down to this level, I would imagine we'd see a little reaction, so a possible bounce back upward towards maybe even towards this 2-year key level. We'd really want to be paying attention for that, right? So you got this the month open, which we want to be living above. This is going to become some pretty decent resistance along the way. And then you got this 2-year key level, which is a high time frame average price. So this is the average price of Ethereum for 2 years. So you can imagine that that's going to come in as some resistance as well. Rejection from there, depending on how Bitcoin's going at the moment, then we do run the risk still. If we lose this point of control, lose that 26, then the major target that we've been looking for is this range low at $2,300. So once again, not a guarantee it's getting there. It is something you have to monitor as you go. The probabilities are high right now that we do get there. And now, especially since we were at 26, it's a little bit more, I feel, believable, right? So similar to Mana, when we were looking at Mana back in February, I most probably would have never thought you'd see a 70% drop to get to that box. But this wouldn't be a 70% drop for ETH, but pretty substantial, right? 33%, which is pretty much on par with Bitcoin drop, pullbacks. And have you hit key price points for Matic? I'll take a look at Matic. So I bring up the ETH chart though because ETH is the altcoin leader, right? So this was, when we had the major bearish divergence coming in up here just a few weeks back. This was kind of that identifier, along with Bitcoin hitting major resistance, along with a lot of altcoins like Solana, Link, Dot, Crow. I mean, every major coin was running into the macro range high or a macro resistance level, right? So it was likely we were going to get a pullback. And if we were, it was going to be more so at least a 20-30% drawdown, right? So we were looking at least to come back and retest this range high. But as soon as we re-entered this range, this has not been a great deal. So if we do this is what leads me at least to feel that we're probably going to get that 31K Bitcoin just to rotate, and in the sense of ETH rotating its range in full. And because of that, we need another 11% move to the downside. And usually ETH doesn't just drop without Bitcoin. So that would be about another 10 or 11% move out of Bitcoin too. So just something to kind of keep in mind right now. Not a guarantee. Like I said, you really want to see this point of control hold as support. If it does get lost, then I'd be, there's really, this level right here is just a previous point of control on a monthly. So it's nothing incredible. However, it did actually prop us up right here. But that's what I'd be looking for ETH. And once again, just kind of going with the confluence of the market, or the context of the whole market is, if ETH comes down another 10%, then the rest of the market's probably going to come down to hit all these levels that we're looking for. If that makes sense. And Doge, right? Even with Elon Musk's tweets, doesn't defeat the range, right? So rotated this range a couple times so far. I think this was when maybe both. We had a nice little run up from here. I don't know what the news was around this time, if there was any even, but we were looking for this yearly open to come in as major resistance. It did shoot past that a little bit. A couple people in the group actually shorted this pretty well. We were looking for the point of control as that major target. I think I made a TikTok about this at the time as well. So this was on April 6th. The same time we were looking, so April 6th was the day we re-entered for Ethereum too. So this was definitely a day where we were paying attention for some of these shorts. Obviously we lost our point of control here. Essentially, if you're looking for the range low, we did have this daily level that was of interest right here, came down, hit that daily, this was the, this is the thing with Doge, is that even, you can say it's Elon tweets or this or that, but for the most part, you get a ton of, this is just such a do nothing and then explode, do nothing and then explode, do nothing and then explode. Like the price action of Doge has always just been sideways and quick move up almost, almost always met with a immediate drawback down. But same thing, yearly open, came in, hit the rejection, back in the range. What are you going to do from there? We're going to rotate to the range low once again. This daily level is holding us up. So between this range low and daily, this is where, a lot of opportunity has lied recently. If we, how big of a move is that? It's only 2%. So I would be worried about Doge coming down a little bit more, obviously. And this is just kind of on the idea set that if ETH and everything else is going to pull back, you'll probably get about the same, 10% move, I guess. So probably drop you down towards the previous lows over here, which is about 11 cents. So that's just off the idea that if, everything kind of does come down lower. Once again, we are looking for a possible push in the short term. So everything is at support, right? So once again, you're seeing support here. You might see a run back up. Want to see the reactions at these levels. If you get a rejection from that monthly open, right, then we're probably going to come back down. And what was the other one? ETH, APE, Doge, Mana, Link. Done. I think Matic was one. And we're pushing our time here. So this will be the last one I think I'll do. All right, so Matic. If you're looking on YouTube, you can see this full screen here, but you can kind of see where we're sitting at here, right? So I had a macro range right here, right? Fell out of that, rotated it pretty well. That did pretty nice over the last few weeks here. Once you lost that range low, basically dropped into this previous range over here, right? If I was to extend these lines to the side, which I can do, I guess. Just do that. And we'll throw on a little point of control here. Make that one white. So give or take. Can't really see, I guess, those ones, but so essentially we fell back into this previous range. So this white line we're at right now is that previous range's point of control. You see we're struggling with it right now. There is a daily level that is right here as well. So right where we're sitting at. So we're kind of holding between this daily and this point of control. However, we're not holding the point of control. So losing this level we're at right now, $1.02, $1.03. The next major area is going to come down at the range low. This is Q3, I think, of last year, which is going to be 77 cents into this yearly S1 support. So this would be, once again, going on the idea that if ETH drops 10%, Bitcoin drops this and that, I mean, Matic could very well hit this 27 to 30% drawdown as well. So the level that we're at right now, you really want to see held, this $1.03. After that, it's, So short term for upside as well, right? So it's not all about doom and gloom, right? You flip this point of control conclusively here. So that's about $1.13. We'd be looking back up. You really want to see this range reclaimed. So another daily close back inside this level, about 133. And then from there, we're looking back up. So we are at some major support right now. So you can't necessarily get super, drop your whole bag bearish. But if you do lose this, that's one of the hardest things for anybody to contemplate, right? Because now is not the time you really want to be making your plan. You really want to have had, some of these levels on your plate, some of these ideas on your mind, considering, when some of these drop out of these areas, now you're kind of diddling in the middle. So you definitely have a risk of it dropping to the downside. But at the same token, it's vice versa, right? So say we just push up from here. If you were to dump your whole bag right now and we run it back into this range before you feel comfortable to get back in, you're going to miss a 30% move to the upside, right? Or if you hold down and we drop down, you're going to hit a 30% loss. So you still technically, I guess, lose. You would risk 30% either way if that was going to be the case. And that's just, unfortunate in that regard. But do with that as you please. But I'd be looking for, that yearly S1 would be my saving grace, I guess. And this level would imply that, Bitcoin's dropping down, ETH is rotating the range in full. you're probably coming down for mana to that box. I mean, everything would come down to these macro lows, which in turn would, in my opinion, I feel like if we come down to these levels here and we do get this Bitcoin down to like 31 area, I know it could go lower and all that, but I could definitely see a reversal coming in around that area and just front running everybody's lower targets, because I know everybody's going to want 28, 27 and whatever. And it's something we pay attention to, of course. And then if you start losing these, that's, whatever, we'll pay attention for it. But you got to be able to put on some risk around these levels as well. You can't just be super afraid that we're just going to keep melting to the downside. Oops. Can I do a quick recap BTC? So if you go to YouTube, you can literally just pause it or start it from the beginning. We covered Bitcoin really, really well in depth today. So I am going to actually end this because it's been over an hour here. So just a good time, good length for the video. Hope you all enjoyed this little double that we did with Magic Internet Money. I think he and I are going to try to do this a little bit more often throughout the mornings here, especially as the New York Open occurs around 8:30 to 9:30. And yeah, so hope you'll have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed your Cinco de Mayo if you celebrated. And otherwise, we'll see anybody in the group here. If you are interested in joining the leading crypto Discord server, Magic Internet Money and myself do run this together. If you want to have access to all of our altcoin setups, our Bitcoin analysis, learn how to identify these ranges, point of control, key levels, things of that nature, do feel free to join that. The information is in bios on TikTok and on information on YouTube as well. So for anybody else, we will catch everybody Monday again, probably live. We do have a members only market update coming on Sunday at 9:30 p.m. We do 2 of those a week, members only market updates. They are recorded and you can find them here. And they are made live and pretty interactive at the time. So Sunday will be another good update here. Do know that we're coming into some important times for the rest of this month, right? The next 2 weeks are going to be pretty special, I think. So, all right, that's about all I got. Magic, thank you very much for coming on. Hope you guys have a great day. Till next time, cheers.